Have you ever noticed that your cat solves problems that would stump some humans? Scientists have discovered that cats' intelligence is much higher than we used to think. They may possess intellectual abilities comparable to a 3-year-old child. Today, we will reveal 8 amazing signs that your furry companion might be a true genius in the cat world. Before we begin, write in the comments what smart or unusual things your cat does. Perhaps she has learned to open doors, or brings toys on command, or maybe responds to your mood in a special way. Your stories will help us create a collective portrait of feline intelligence. Meanwhile, make yourself comfortable. Ahead of you are discoveries that will make you look at your pet with completely new eyes. The first sign of your cat's genius is extraordinary observational skills and the ability to learn through observation. Genius cats don't just watch, they study. If your cat carefully observes how you open a cabinet door or refrigerator and then tries to repeat your actions, this is a clear sign of high intelligence. This behavior is called observational learning, and it requires complex cognitive processes. Researchers from Kyoto University found that some cats can remember and reproduce human actions even 16 hours after observation. Can you imagine? Your cat might watch you open a treat container in the morning and try to do the same thing in the evening. This indicates the presence of long-term memory and planning abilities, qualities previously attributed only to primates and some bird species. It's especially impressive when cats apply their acquired knowledge to new situations. For example, a cat that has learned to open a food cabinet door might use the same technique to open a toy drawer. This demonstrates not just memorization, but a real understanding of cause and effect relationships. The second sign is an extraordinary ability to solve problems. Genius cats don't back down from obstacles but look for creative solutions. Remember, has your cat ever encountered a new barrier and found an unexpected way to overcome it? This could be anything from a complex food puzzle to a locked door. One classic example is cats that have learned to use objects as tools. For instance, some particularly smart cats can pull a string or cord to reach a toy that is out of reach. This requires understanding the connection between action and result, which is a sign of developed intelligence. Research conducted at Bristol University showed that cats can solve complex spatial problems as well as dogs, and sometimes even better. They can mentally visualize the location of objects even when they don't see them directly. This is called object permanence and is an important indicator of cognitive development. The third sign is exceptional memory. Genius cats remember not only where their favorite toy or food bowl is hidden, but also complex sequences of events. If your cat remembers what time you usually come home or which day of the week you give her a special treat, this indicates developed episodic memory. Cats' spatial memory is particularly impressive. Studies show they can remember up to 16 different routes and can find their way home from several kilometers away. This requires creating complex mental maps of the surrounding space, a task that not all humans can handle. Interesting fact, cats can remember solutions to complex problems for up to 10 years. In an experiment, cats were shown how to get a treat from a special container and then tested years later. Many of them remembered the solution even after such a long break. For comparison, most people forget similar procedural skills after just a few months without practice. The fourth sign is developed communication and social intelligence. Genius cats don't just meow when they want to eat. They have developed an entire system of signals specifically adapted for communicating with humans. If your cat uses different sounds for different requests or situations, this is a sign of high social intelligence. Scientists have discovered that domestic cats can produce more than 100 different vocalizations, while wild cats use only about 10. This suggests that our pets have evolved to better communicate specifically with us. They have literally created a language that humans can understand. It's especially interesting that some cats are capable of imitating human speech. No, they don't speak words, but they can mimic the intonations and rhythmic patterns of our speech. If your cat responds when you talk to her, maintaining a kind of dialogue, you probably have a true feline communication genius. Additionally, smart cats often use non-verbal signals. They might bring toys when they want to play, or lead you to an empty bowl when they're hungry. Such behavior demonstrates understanding that humans may not know about their desires and the necessity to convey this information. These are the beginnings of what psychologists call theory of mind. The fifth sign is emotional intelligence and empathy. Genius cats are able not only to recognize their owner's emotions, but also to respond appropriately. If your cat comes to comfort you when you're upset or keeps her distance when you're irritated, This indicates a high level of emotional intelligence. Research conducted at the University of Auckland showed that cats can distinguish their owners' emotional states and adapt their behavior accordingly. They react to tone of voice, facial expression, and even to chemical signals that we unconsciously emit during various emotional states. Particularly impressive is some cats' ability to sense approaching health problems in their owners. There are known cases where cats began to show unusual attention to certain parts of their owner's body shortly before serious diseases were discovered there. Scientists suggest that cats may detect subtle changes in smell associated with biochemical processes in the body. The sixth sign is adaptive learning and flexible thinking. Genius cats quickly adapt to changes in their environment and can change their strategies if old ones stop working. If your cat finds new ways to achieve a goal when old ones are blocked, this is a clear sign of intellectual flexibility. Experiments show that smart cats can solve problems through trial and error, remembering successful strategies and discarding ineffective ones. For example, if a cat tries to reach a toy under the sofa and discovers that its paw can't reach, it might try approaching from another side or using some object as a tool. It's especially interesting to observe how cats adapt to new technologies in the home. Some quickly learn to interact with touch screens, automatic feeders, or even smart home devices. There have been cases where cats learn to activate voice assistants to get their owner's attention. Another aspect of adaptive learning is the ability to learn lessons from observing other animals. If there's a dog or another cat in the house, a smart cat might adopt their successful strategies. For example, a cat might learn to beg for treats in a certain way by watching how a dog does it. The seventh sign is understanding cause and effect relationships at a high level. Genius cats don't just know that certain actions lead to certain results. They understand why this happens. If your cat demonstrates an understanding of physical laws, such as gravity or inertia, this indicates developed abstract thinking. A classic example is a cat that understands that if an object is pushed off the edge of a table, it will fall. This seems obvious, but actually requires understanding basic laws of physics. Even more impressive is when a cat anticipates exactly where an object will fall and waits for it there. Researchers from Kyoto University found that some cats can understand the principle of object permanence. That is, realizing that objects continue to exist even when they can't be seen. In an experiment, cats were shown an object being placed in a container, which was then moved. Smart cats looked for the object exactly where the container was moved, demonstrating understanding that the object should be inside, even if they didn't see it there. It's especially interesting to observe how cats apply cause and effect thinking in social situations. For example, if a cat notices that certain behavior always leads to a positive reaction from the owner, it may consciously demonstrate this behavior to get the desired result. This requires not only memorization, but also understanding the connection between its actions and another being's reaction. And finally, the eighth sign is self-awareness and metacognition. Genius cats show signs of awareness of themselves as separate beings and can evaluate their own abilities. If your cat demonstrates understanding of its physical limitations, for example, refuses to attempt a jump it clearly cannot make, this indicates developed self-awareness. The classic test for self-awareness is the mirror test, where a mark is placed on an animal's body to see if it will try to investigate this mark when seeing its reflection. Most cats don't pass this test in its classical form, but researchers believe this is not due to a lack of self-awareness, but because cats primarily rely on smell rather than vision for self-identification. However, there are other signs of self-awareness in cats. For example, they demonstrate understanding of their body boundaries, accurately calculating whether they will fit through a narrow space. They also show signs of episodic memory, the ability to recall specific events from their past experience, which requires awareness of oneself as the subject of this experience. It's particularly interesting that some cats show signs of metacognition, the ability to evaluate their own knowledge and skills. For example, a cat might refuse a task that seems too difficult, or conversely, show persistence in solving a problem it considers solvable. This requires not only intelligence, but also a certain level of self-awareness. So, we've looked at 8 amazing signs that your cat might be a true genius: observational skills and learning through observation, problem-solving ability, exceptional memory, developed communication, emotional intelligence, adaptive learning, understanding cause and effect relationships, and self-awareness. Of course, not every cat will demonstrate all these signs, but even the presence of several indicates your pet's high intelligence. It's important to remember that feline intelligence differs from human intelligence. They are smart in their own way, in accordance with their evolutionary history and needs. Cats are natural solitary hunters, and their intelligence evolved to solve specific survival tasks. Therefore, we shouldn't expect them to demonstrate the same forms of intelligence as humans or even dogs, which evolved as social animals. And now a question for you. Which of these 8 signs have you noticed in your cat? Perhaps your pet shows some other signs of intelligence that we haven't mentioned. Share your observations in the comments. Perhaps your story will help other cat owners see genius in their pets. If you liked this video and learned something new about your furry friend, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Click the bell to not miss our next episodes, where we'll continue to reveal amazing secrets of the cat world. In the next video, we'll tell you about another astonishing ability of our 4-legged companions that will surely surprise you. Remember, the better we understand our cats, the deeper and more harmonious our connection with these amazing creatures becomes. Until next time in the world of feline mysteries.